So I've been seeing a lot of chatter about Ward lately in the Magic the Gathering circles, on Twitter, on YouTube, and people seem to think that Ward is a problem, that it's almost as bad as Hexproof, and that Wizards needs to essentially stop printing Ward. I'm going to disagree with that sentiment with a caveat that Ward should still exist. It was one of Mark Rosewater's top 20 Magic the Gathering non-evergreen mechanics. I think he had it at number 10 or 12, somewhere in there. And it's very flexible. The issue with Ward currently is that it is too high of a mana cost. So if you look here, Kappa Cannoneer, for example, this is kind of a silly example, but Ward 4 might as well be hexproof. Nobody's going to pay 4 and a white for Swords to Plowshares on this. That's too high of a cost. Roaming Throne, the number 1 most played Ward card, Ward 2, that one is kind of borderline. Like, would you pay 3 mana to Swords to Plowshares, Roaming Throne? I might. I mean, it's very strong, so there's a possibility. I think what I'm trying to get at here, and the biggest problem actually is, let's see, there's Ovika, Ward 3. Sauron has an interesting ward cost, but it's not mana. So the mana cost ward cards are the problem, not the non-mana cost here. So let's see. ID Naya. Oops, let me type that correctly. It's Voja, right? I'm typing this wrong. Here we go, Voja. This is the one everyone's talking about. This card has Ward 3. It's a 5 mana with Ward 3 and crazy abilities. Must answer threat. I agree with that. Everyone's saying that. The issue with this is that Ward is fine on this card. It just can't be Ward 3. Ward 1 would have been fine. Ward 2, borderline. Ward 3 is too much. Ward, pay life, or something of that nature that fits in the Naya color identity without mana would also be fine. And this is where I fall on the Ward discussion, is that it should still exist. It should still be utilized as much as it is now, but just in a way that's more mana friendly. The high mana cost wards are very tough to pay for. So 2 is probably like the highest, like, unless you're paying 7 mana for something like Ovika, which is, I'm scrolling down. I cannot find it right now, but 7 mana card with Ward. Oh, I still have the ID Naya. Yeah, so for example here, Ovika, Enigma Goliath, 7 mana. You're paying 7 mana to cast this card. It should have a steep Ward cost. I think it's fair to ask somebody to pay 4 mana to remove a 7 mana card. I think that's fine. 3 might be, I don't know. I mean, Ward 3 and pay 3 life. Honestly, I think it's fine. Like, the thing is, too, like, you're in blue already, so maybe it didn't need to be Ward 3. It could have been Ward 2. But my point is that if you're paying a lot of mana for a card, it having Ward is not a huge problem. Tivit, Seller of Secrets, also has Ward 3. This isn't a very strong card, so Ward 3 is more defensible here. And it's a Sphinx. It fits well. Sauron, so EDH Recast was complaining about this one as well. This is very flavorful, first of all. You'd have to sacrifice, the 1 ring or whatever to pay for his cost. And it fits the lore. And then also, you don't have to pay mana for this. So you can sack your commander. You can sack one of your many legendary creatures. There's more legendary creatures than ever nowadays. Like, every set has like 50 legends. So chances are your deck is going to have a legend available soon. And you're already paying 6 mana to cast Sauron, so I think it's fine. I don't think that's a huge deal. But when you get to cards like Roaming Throne and even Miram Sentinel Worm, Miram here is probably pretty pushed because it's a must-answer threat, Ward 2. At least this is Ward 2. This is 6 mana. You're already paying 6. This is not as egregious as Voja. Voja is the most egregious. And so that's what I would say about that. Ward should still exist. It's a great mechanic. Just tone down the mana cost for Ward. That's all I got to say.